Hey everyone, welcome back to Automation. So I've been saying in the past few videos that there's an update coming up for Automation, and it's here. It actually came out last week, but it was literally the day that I put out the video that I usually do on Saturday, so it was too late for me to make a video on it. But here we are this week, one hotfix in, ready to take a look at 4.3 Ellisbury. So just looking at the game, you do have to opt into this beta, by the way, so in order to do that, you can just right-click the game on Steam, go to betas, and then pick Ellisbury Open Beta from the list, and that's how you get into this. And the good thing that come with this, at least in the future, are superchargers and a full turbo revamp and stuff like that, which I'm really excited about. But this initial update contains some cool stuff too, just not quite there with the superchargers yet. Looking at the game, you can see some things though. There is a selector for companies. I picked Sandbox. All my stuff is Sandbox anyways because honestly I don't play the campaign. But the good part about this is that your old cars from 4.2 are still compatible with 4.3, so thank goodness. I believe that there will be some issues with turbo cars, but thankfully at least the bodies and stuff are in, so you don't have to do full redesigns. Okay, so let's take a look at the patch notes and see what we're actually looking at and getting into here. They take time to write these up, so we should probably read them, and also the hotfixes here too. There are a lot of changes with the hotfix, but I'm not going to read those. It's mostly just issues and small details. So basically what's going on with 4.3 is it's the build up to the supercharger update, which I'm sure is quite a ways out because this update was delayed by a few weeks by itself. But let's go through the changes. So there's the companies mode in Sandbox, which we saw. There are new body counts, 469 new or updated improved car bodies in 8 families, which is pretty darn cool. Complete overhaul of transmissions, which is very, very cool. And something I've been asking for a while is full player control over gear ratios, at least optional, which I like there as well. It's like, I like the slider, it works for somebody who has no idea what a gear ratio is, but the ability to get into it a little bit deeper for people who are interested in that is excellent, and I really appreciate that in this update. Complete overhaul of differential behavior. Now I know I saw some stuff about all-wheel drive changing and people were not exactly pleased about that. I don't know how that's going to go, if it's going to be reverted or something or changed around, but this is a beta for a reason. But differentials are different. More flexible all-wheel drive system is implemented. Basically all-wheel drive works more realistically than it did before. And another thing, CVTs and sequential gearboxes are back in the game. So I think sequential we had previously, but it was a little bit not correct, but now we have CVTs as well, so we have that unlimited gear ratio set up. I'm excited to try these gearboxes out. I mean, who's excited for CVTs in real life, but in game, I don't know, let's give it a go. Fuel economy is totally different, so all my fuel testing from earlier, like in earlier versions of the game, is outdated now. We'll have to see how actual efficient our vehicles are. Some of the really crappy ones are probably terrible, but yeah, now we have better fuel economy calculations. A tow adjustment, which is cool. More suspension tuning. More complicated, I know, but this gives more flexibility with actual race cars and stuff. There are new test tracks and things, and obviously there's more track layouts. If you use the track tester in Automation, you'll appreciate this. I don't tend to use it, but you can also make tracks for this as well, which is really cool. So yeah, another feature I don't personally use, but I'm happy that it's been expanded on and implemented in a more community favorable way. Making your own tracks is really cool. Going on to the engine, complete revamp of engine block and bottom end, including upboring, which is cool, and new interactions. So the upboring is cool because now you can have a base engine and then you can increase the size of it if you need to for different variants. And I guess there's more stuff considered with new interactions. Engine power density mechanic has been added. Okay, we'll have to see what that does. I don't think it's going to make any significant differences. Engine emissions calculations completely overhauled, reflecting real-world test cycles. I find this to be really funny because I think only the most hardcore people actually care about engine emissions in a game. Yeah, I care about emissions in real life. My cars have catalytic converters on them, but in game, I cut them off. That's just what kind of guy I am. More graphs, improved accuracy of catalytic converters. This just goes with the testing cycle stuff. Overhaul of the engine dyno with more gauges and stuff. Again, I don't use this, but it's cool to have that. There's a picture of it here, but we'll get into it in game too. Lots of new and improved engine artwork. When they say artwork, I'm curious as to what that means. Is that the 3D models? Is that just like stuff in the background? Again, we'll have to see if there's anything obvious. In photo mode, there is a new poster thing, so you can make posters of your car. We'll probably try that. Campaign mode. I was tempted to skip this, but the section is very short, so let's just run through it. Sankey charts is basically like a flow chart. More dynamic AI companies now use tech pool in production. So, okay, I guess your competition gets tougher. Countries now have tech pool offsets to better reflect local conditions, and reliability is now an important factor. BeamNG exporter, this is cool because this is a little bit more up my alley. New camera widget to control custom camera locations for exported cars, which is cool. Now you can put the camera where you want it to be. Decal, discoloration, and load issues in exported cars. Many fixes and updates to materials in exported cars. Carbon fiber is now fixed too. This is good because every time I export carbon fiber, it comes in white. So hopefully it's fixed now with this update. Improve the exporter's ability to handle anything edited with the advanced trim tool. I'll have to see what that means. Electric center differentials, which is cool. Rebalanced parameters. It's just a very generic 3-word sentence there. Fixtures are fixed. And this is actually a really cool thing here. Fixed fixtures to export. Breakable fixtures immune to braking but can collide. So now you can put stuff on your car and have it not fall off as soon as you hit a small bump in the road, which is really cool. And having them be able to collide is extremely cool as well. I'm probably going to use that fairly often. This is one of those things where I was like, drivetrain friction? Like, is that going to slow down every single car that I've made because now the drivetrain has friction and therefore we have a new coefficient slowing down everything? So I don't know how aggressive this is, but we'll kind of just have to see what that does. Maybe that just means your car slows if you leave it in gear as you would normally with a manual car, for instance. We'll have to see what that actually means. Active dampers and sway bars now export. More suspension options in BeamNG, which is really cool. And body weight will now be adjusted for added light fixture weight, or added light and fixture weight to a point. So now if you cover your car in forks or something like that, you're gonna be weighed down in BeamNG. And that's it for this patch. I guess that's a pretty quick 5-minute run through, but there's more to come. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up in the future, like Superchargers and that. The art that they used in this update is extremely cool. The cars that people make are amazing, and I'm constantly humbled by that. Some of these vehicles are just ridiculous compared to the stuff I make, so yeah, man, I gotta do better. Anyways, let's get into the actual game and see what is in store for us with this update. So I've gone ahead and cloned the Bugo because I'm going to be using it as my test bed for all of these updates, including a supercharged Bugo when the time comes. I'm very excited about that. Oh, we're back in the old room. I guess I could probably update the settings. Poster options, really cool. This thing is a 900 horsepower, what kind of 4-liter inline 3 with 900 horsepower. When did I make this? Let's go back to the beginning though and run through some stuff. DLC, I'm guessing that just means it's a mod, because the game doesn't have, well, the game has DLC, but it doesn't. So there's DLC and then there's mod. That's interesting. I wonder if they're planning to do DLC car bodies. But anyway, that's an interesting distinction that I see there. Maybe DLC just denotes new stuff, perhaps. Moving on to the chassis, I don't see anything different about this. This car is 1982, so yeah, our options are mildly limited. Let's just jump it up into 2020 and see what other new things are available. So this is the really stupid 900 horsepower inline 3 engine. It's massive and all that stuff. I don't know. It looks like we have a few new options for block materials, including aluminum heavy, aluminum light, aluminum billet. various alloys, and then magnesium. So more material options, that's always cool. We have another option here with the crank. We have billet steel heavy, and then only V8 engines can use flat plane cranks. So I guess they took those out of this list and then gave us another little gear up here to, again, get things to be more advanced. I like that. I think that's really cool. Billet steel heavy, iron heavy, forged steel light, forged steel heavy. A few more options, always a good thing. Titanium conrods. Yeah, looks like we got a bunch more materials in here. I just noticed as I was messing around with this. So take a look at the crank. That's the thing that's spinning with the big nubs on it. They look like pieces of toast. We go to cast iron and then go back to it. It looks like cast iron. We go up to billet steel. It looks like billet steel. So maybe that's the new engine artwork that they were talking about. Same thing with pistons. We can go cast and then we can try forged. I mean, they do look a little bit different, I guess. The conrods, that's the things that actually connect the pistons to the crank. We can go cast, change the color of them. Titanium is a nice little like brownish, bronze, orangish color. I don't know anything about colors, man. I didn't pass kindergarten, but that's a cool little detail, I guess. It doesn't really make a difference other than the engine designer, but it's nice to have these subtleties. Next big change, I'm dreaming. Superchargers right here, 12 different types of superchargers. I know that they're going to add sequential turbos as well, which is cool, so it's not just going to be twin turbo stuff. We can hopefully do sequentials. Lots of cool stuff coming up in this tab, but nothing here yet. So the only thing I'm noticing in this tab is that we have the catalytic converter control option here. This car doesn't have a cat, so we'll just quickly put a two-way one on, and it looks like we have the ability to increase the emissions optimization level, which is a little bit okay, good. It has a tooltip, thankfully, but otherwise it's kind of like, what does that even mean? Admittedly, this is very wordy, but basically the higher the setting, the larger the area in the fuel map that is pulled towards the optimum operating conditions to get a clean burn. They could honestly just say make it higher and then it makes your car cleaner. That's pretty much it. But as with everything in this game, there's always an extra layer of complication. That's just what it is. Yeah, everything here just seems normal. I'm going to take that catalytic converter off because no thanks in-game. It doesn't make any sense. I guess we could try and do like an emissions-specific build, but I don't know. That's just kind of weird. I guess that could be a thing. It's just not a super exciting build. It's like, oh man, the most polluting car on the planet. We kill every tree. I guess. Okay, here is the new engine tester. Let's take a listen to this. I hope it doesn't deafen you. I will make the sounds a little bit better. There's also a fuel economy test mode, which is kind of cool. Oh wow, it actually has like cycles. Wow, that's extremely fancy. Again, I don't know if I would ever actually use this, but hey. Okay, let's do a poll. Yeah, the engine just detonated. That's that's beautiful. This thing has some issues, as you can probably tell. It only makes like 200 horsepower and then it KOs itself, which is beautiful. So yeah, obviously I'm not going to be able to get the most out of this, but it is cool that it exists. This is definitely a lot more fancy than it previously was. They have a huge section dedicated to efficiency of emissions, which seems to be a bit of a focus for this update. I guess turbos and stuff, I mean, they do increase efficiency and they decrease the like stuff that comes out of the tailpipe, which is why so many cars are turbo these days. But for me personally, this is not much of a focus, at least in a game. Again, it just yeah, I guess it's cool to have, but I was hoping for focus on other things. Now, this is different as well. We have a different sort of summary layout. Looks really nice, very clean. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the actual car. I don't think much has changed in terms of the actual like building section. I mean, it is what it is. Thankfully, it looks like all the fixture mods work, and the UI here has been updated as well. We also have a fixture search option. This also leaves room for more stuff down here, which is cool. It looks like everything is still in the same place, just with a slightly different UI piece on it. And it's going to take me some time to get used to the differences here. When you have like 400 hours in this game, it's like everything is ingrained into my brain at this point. All right, here's where things get fancy. I was excited about this. Now, the engine in this car doesn't work, so I'm going to take 5 minutes to make it work. We're just going to take off the turbo. 400 horsepower, naturally aspirated, which is insane. And it's not even knocking or anything. I like how these have been updated. The small stuff makes sense. Funny that some of the things are too long to fit in the boxes, but this is a good change too. I just noticed it now. Oh yeah, here's some of the new graphs, by the way, emissions graphs. Um, there's a lot of artifacting going on here. This is like detailed, man. I have no idea what's going on with these things, but it's going to take some time to figure it out. I'm more of a power and torque kind of guy. Okay, so now that we have an engine that actually works, we can do stuff with it. Front wheel drive is where we're at right now, but we could also go to 4x4, all-wheel drive viscous, all-wheel drive helical, all-wheel drive on demand, all-wheel drive advanced. There's 4 options for all-wheel drive now, which is insane. I'm guessing that it doesn't actually change the model, which it makes sense, but the behavior, I'm sure, is different. So let's go all-wheel drive on demand. Let's try that. We're currently automatic, still up to 10 speeds. Honestly, they should just take away this thing and just make it like a number selection instead of having to click through all this, because then we can get more gear options too. Let's go sequential. I remember sequential used to be in the game. I guess it got taken out at some point. I completely missed that somehow. Continuous, boys. CVT, 400 horsepower, front all-wheel drive on demand. Yeah, that's pretty wild. So we do have options here. Obviously, being a CVT, it doesn't have any gears, but you can see the actual ratios here if I was to pick a sequential or like a 2-speed. Or maybe more realistically like a 5 or 6 speed sequential. You can actually see what the top speed is in every gear, and I'm assuming we can get the gear ratios. Yeah, there we go. First gear ratio is insane, but yeah, lots of gear ratios and stuff as well. And we do have advanced mode as well, where we can select all of the top speed for everything, which is cool. And we can also pick the ratios there too. That's really cool. The speed limiter is also in the top speed. That's not really something that's very useful unless you're like actually trying to make a realistic car. Again, most of the stuff I make is not realistic, so it doesn't even use the speed limiter. Why would I limit my speed, man? But this opens up a lot of possibilities, and I really like how it's been changed. Speed limiter is here as well, I guess, but 500 something kilometers an hour is pretty nuts. Thankfully, we can also still rely on the graphs to tell us what we actually need. Going over to CVT, this is a little bit different than what I was expecting. Basically, we just go up and then we go flat. This is going to be a whole new thing for tuning for me because I have no idea what's going on here. First gear though, let's put it to 105. What does that even do? Is that going to make reverse 105? Because we could theoretically increase the top speed as well. Yeah, okay, so our 0 to 100 is 10 seconds, which is bananas. So if we lower this down, I'm assuming that'll speed up our... Yeah, that makes our acceleration quite a bit faster. So lowering this down, it seems like we're not actually able to get to the top speed that I thought we would be able to. Likely due to wheel spin and the fact that this thing is absolutely not made for 400 horsepower. Yeah, let's try dual clutch just quickly. No, but we're still capping out around 237, so the CVT does not limit top speed like I thought it might. 246, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm interested to try this thing out. We'll try it out in beamng too, so yeah, let's give it a go. I'm also going for absolute maximum acceleration here. 0 to 100 in 3.6 seconds. Beautiful. In terms of tires and wheels, I don't think anything's changed. This car is all-wheel drive now, so we should probably make the setup square on the front and the back. One thing I just thought about is where is the split? So, power split is 50-50. It looks like I can't change it when I have on demand. But advanced, I can change it. It's just I can't change it very drastically. I can only go up and down 60-40. Helical seems to be the same, and viscous is even tighter. So on demand, we can't do anything. Advanced, we can at least give it more rear bias because yeah, I find that to be more fun on this car. I wonder if that has to do with the quality. Oh, it actually does. Okay, so the quality being too low has made it so the power split can't be too much, but having the quality be super high actually does give us more options. That's cool. I never thought about that. Maybe this is the wrong car to be testing this with. So the absolute best that we can do with this, with the current setup that I'm in, CVT electric LSD all-wheel drive advanced, is 80% rear, 20% front. That's plus 15 quality. Maybe that'll work for what I'm trying to do here. It's definitely reduced the wheel spin. Suspension, nothing has changed here either, I guess. I don't think anything's particularly different from what I'm looking at, but let's take a look at a new tab, statistics. I guess we get some new stuff here to look at. Performance, design. Still, we got a heavy boy here with the new all-wheel drive system. I'm very interested to see how that CVT behaves in BeamNG, but I think that's probably the most interesting aspect of this. By the way, this Bugo costs $245,000. That is nothing. And also 21 liters per 100 kilometers. That is absolutely awful. Here is the test track, which we can, I guess, take a look at. This is the automation test track, which you can also zoom into. Can I? Oh, I can move around as well. Here we are. You can see one of the cool little features they've done is it takes a shot of your car from the top and it simplifies it. I do want to try something really stupid, so hold on for a second. Let's just slap a huge wing on top. I want to see how far this system extends. Oh my goodness. It actually worked. Hold on a second. Yeah, it totally... Oh, my ears! It totally does it. I can't believe it. The sound it makes is absolutely horrible, though. My goodness, man. I am losing my mind. But it does indeed put your gigantic wings on if you choose to put them there. That is kind of funny. Oh, man. I have some really terrible ideas now. Okay, well, we got a taste of what this sounds like, at least. It sounds absolutely awful with the current exhaust setup and this engine. It's extremely cool that this map is here, and it's basically a screenshot of the actual BeamNG one from the top, and then I guess the resolution's been lowered, but it still looks like it's 3D and stuff. Yeah, I like this kind of detail. But it's even funnier that it makes a little sprite of your car. That's just too much fun. Also, we do have some other options, including the airfield. That's a classic. The new Ellisbury track. Ellisbury? Again, 3D modeled, or 2D modeled, I guess, and then exported into this game as a photo from the looks of things. But seems pretty high quality if you don't zoom in too far. It's really cool that this stuff exists. And also, we have multiple different tracks within the same track. Again, making good use out of different pieces. This is a cool little feature. I don't think I'm going to use it too much, but I'm happy that it exists. And moving on to the actual car itself, let's try to make a poster out of it just for fun. See what that kind of comes up as. I'm hoping that it gives me a preview. Okay, good, it does give a preview. Hey, that's really cool. So we have a lot of stats on the side. And you can kind of get a basic idea of what's going on with the car. I like how it poses it for you. Looks like we also have... Oh, we have a vertical layout option as well. And the game is struggling a little bit to keep up with that. But it does keep the car in frame for the most part. The cutout is not amazing. Let's try the... Okay, there's no other presets. Yeah, we can change the zoom of things. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we can do here. So, and you can export it as a PNG. That's really cool. So with that, I guess we've covered everything that's at least obvious in the update. I know there's more campaign stuff. Again, I don't really play the campaign, so I'm not going to be able to tell you what's new and what isn't based on the little blurb there. It's like, that's all I know, man. That's all I got. I'm going to quickly change the color of this thing, and then let's send it into BeamNG. By the way, we're going to go carbon fiber. We're going to make it black entirely out of carbon fiber and just see if that comes in properly. I'm curious. Alright, so we're here in beamng, and I have noticed an issue with automation immediately. The game refuses to quit out of Steam for some reason. Like, the game is closed, but it still says it's open, and it won't end. I don't know what that's about. Could be an issue on my end, but if you're having the same thing, let me know. Okay, so here's what the car looks like in beamng. This is supposed to be carbon fiber, and it definitely looks better than it did. It's shiny, it's nice. I didn't change anything else other than the fact that it was carbon fiber, and obviously I made it supposed to be black, but it turned out gray. It's definitely better than it used to be where it came out white, so I'm pleased with that. It's not overtly carbon or anything like that, but it is a good visual upgrade. The car has some problems where the exhaust is not coming out of the pipe, but it's instead coming out before the pipe, which is really funny. I don't know if that's some like new issue or whatever. However, let's try out the CVT. We have no sport mode or anything. It's just, oh wow. Oh my goodness, it doesn't do anything. Did I mess something up in game? I'm gonna change this. Oh, what? We have two-wheel drive mode? That's really cool. Hold on. So I'm just leaving the CVT thing in neutral because it doesn't seem to be working, which is great. Let's go drive mode sport. Previously it was comfort. Drive mode two-wheel drive. That's extremely cool. So with the advanced all-wheel drive, we can knock it into two-wheel drive. And I'm guessing that's two-wheel drive rear, but is that two-wheel drive front? Only 20% of the power goes up to the front, so that might be a thing. And then back into comfort. Let's just... Wait, do we not have... So you can't turn it off. That's a bit of an issue. You used to be able to turn it off. Oh man, the thing does not work at all. Like, the CVT does not work. Okay, I just noticed something that was very, very weird. So if you switch the car to an electric motor, you have a speed limiter of 1 kilometer an hour. So somehow I might have activated a speed limiter, and that's what's making this thing not work. And now it works. Yeah, so it was literally just a speed limiter that whole time. That is so strange. I wonder how I did that. Did it default export with a speed limiter? Or is that something I selected? Please let me know. I might see it in the footage, but that is a weird little issue, and I'm kind of surprised that it happened, but it's okay. We got to figure it out, boys, and we're driving 120 Ks in our CVT all-wheel drive Yugo of sorts. And thankfully I can actually enjoy it at least a little bit. It's slower than it should be. Oh. Oh, that's solid. I didn't realize it. I'm just happy the thing actually moves. Like, that by itself is a huge advancement. So yeah, screw you, speed limiter. Let's get past 1 kilometer an hour and into some actual speed. That being said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below, and if you like this video, then like it and subscribe if you were interested in watching more of these videos and more other things that I make. It's going to be mostly automation stuff for a while as I try to build this channel up a little bit more. The last 2 videos have been far too successful to ignore, so we're getting back into the automation grind a little bit, and some IRL stuff too. So yeah. Thanks for watching. See you guys again soon. And don't forget to check me out on Patreon and also on the join button membership stuff if you're looking to support a little bit extra. Those names are coming up now. Just wanted to say thank you to those in the V8 tier. We have Overlord, Terry01, J. Pope, Davis Heister, Sinlab, Goofy Plays, Phoenix Shark, Badger, Baja Blast, Mancini Country, Shadow Jasper, and I Look Valheimilk. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys a lot, and yeah, more automation stuff to come. I think next week might be an IRL video, but soon. I got more things planned once we figure out this CVT.